I have a little thing I just want to kind of run you guys through. So I have a little agenda, and then yeah, Sarthak, if you can keep your camera on, that'll be very helpful if you don't mind. It's just like it's nice to have someone to talk to, rather than me just like you end up looking at yourself in the screen. So I'll just do a little bit. So uh, don't worry, I won't. Yeah, this is mostly. Oh, I'll pin myself that way. You're concerned about that. Cool. Okay, so I just want to start off with kind of what the goal of the internship is and why maybe this is like different than a lot of other internships that are out there. So, yeah, I'll go through this, and if at any point it doesn't just like stop me and ask stuff. Um, but the course aim is to like equip us to find our own way to meaning and purpose and success and all of the things that we need in our career. So that's kind of the goal. I think a lot of, yeah. And so let me talk about kind of why that's the goal. So if you think about careers, you can think about it at three levels. The first one is kind of outcomes, which is what we want. Okay, this is like money, respect, recognition, all of this stuff, right? Um, Process is like how we get that stuff. So just wanting it isn't enough. You have to like do stuff for that. So you have to like learn skills, do tasks, complete tasks, just do all of the things that you need to do, like actually do to get the outcomes. And we think there's a layer beneath this as well, which is work systems. And this is like how and why we do process. Okay. So how do we decide what we're going to do in a given week? Which skills do we learn, right? You have to learn, but which one do you learn? How do you prioritize them? How do you differentiate yourself in the job market? Like, how do you decide what you want out of a particular phase of your career? All of this stuff, right? How do you decide between like working at one company or working at a different company? So I think most like there are a lot of courses out there that like focus on this, like courses, right? But we focus more kind of on the system level. Okay, because this is like the foundation. If you can get this right, then all the process stuff becomes much easier. We do some process stuff as well, which you'll see in a second, but from a very different lens. So that's kind of what we'll focus on. The way we do that is we split this up into a bunch of like things that together I think make up everything that you need from your career. So the first one is like the first module is personal productivity, and this is basically how do you be effective on your own. Okay, just give me one sec. Let me try. Spotlighting. Oh, I don't know if this works. Yeah. So the way that the work, so yeah, the first one is personal productivity, and the first course in that is agency. The idea here is we often like attribute our outcomes to things that we can't control. And the idea of agency is that we see that we always have a choice in how we kind of respond to things, and that we're always served by kind of responding to things. For example, oh, like let's say you graduate in a year where the economy is really bad, right? And you don't get a job. Then one thing we can do is be like, oh, like I can't get a job because the economy is really bad, and then you like blame the economy, and then and but that's something you can't do anything about, right? What you can do something about is like upskilling yourself, learning stuff, working on projects, like keep on kind of improving yourself. If no one's giving you a job, how do you figure out how to do something on your own? Anything other than let's sit and like blame things that we can't really control, right? So this is a really, really foundational course. And basically you need this to be able to like take control of your own career. You need to focus on the things that you can control and know that you have some kind of influence on what happens, right? The second course is execution, and here we basically figure out how to manage our tasks, goals, and calendar. This is the first course we do, and essentially we're trying to get better in how we accomplish tasks every week. Okay, so again, it's a really foundational thing. And for each of these courses, there's like a long, like not a long, but there's like a written down way in which we do that. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. Deep work is the idea of like how do we approach work so that it's fun. I think most of you are maybe from the programming stream. And basically, if you don't enjoy programming, like you'll never be a good programmer, right? It has to be something that you really enjoy doing. And most senior and very kind of successful programmers that you meet, they'll go into this like state where they're just like in the code, where they're like in flow and working. And this is like a really key piece of becoming effective as a programmer. If you just wait until like people are like pressing you to do things, if you're not enjoying your work, basically you can't become really, really good at it, right? And so the idea in this course is how do we like cultivate our ability to become like really focused and do really like good, deep, meaningful work, which in programming is like very, very essential and kind of across the board. Problem solving is basically we take an abstract kind of view of something called design thinking, and we learn a very abstracted way of doing it, and then you can basically apply it to any field. Okay, you can apply it to product, you can apply it to engineering, you can apply it to design, music, art. Like you can job interviews. You can just apply this problem solving approach anywhere. So it's really, really good. And so yeah, this is one of the courses we do as well. Then we have two communication courses, uh, which are also really important, but maybe not the first thing that we do. Especially for people who are kind of more wanting to go down the founding route. That's something that we do. But yeah, empathic communication is a fantastic course, one of my favorites. Learning skills, basically, we learn the abstract way of how to like learn skills. So if you want to learn whatever, I don't know. You want to learn how to build like an AI chatbot or whatever. You want to build your own like NLP engine. Like how do you learn that, right? It's Yeah, so there are a few things we cover, like how do you find people to learn from, and then in terms of like knowledge, how do you gain the academic knowledge, but also how do you put it into practice, and then you can essentially apply this to any number of skills. So yeah, that's that course. And then finally the two courses at the end, which is finding good work. So what does it mean to find good work? Like what is that even, how do you figure out if work is good or not? And then what's a way to actually approach that, rather than, oh, I think the generic kind of advice here is like find your passion, right? But that's not really actionable. So how do you do it in an actionable way? This comes from a really good book called Designing Your Life. It's again fantastic, and it builds on the problem solving approach we learn in module one. And the last one is how do you get jobs. I think people, like a lot of people are like, oh, write a resume, whatever, right? But really, like, finding a job is like a sales process, and it keeps changing. And I think we learn one particular solution to one particular phase of the problem. That's what most people focus on. They're like, oh, how do you write a good resume? How do you have like a good cover letter, LinkedIn, whatever? Like that's one thing, but there's a whole series of steps. And the more you understand the problems and the constraints there, the more creative you can be in how you approach getting jobs. And the goal of getting jobs is not to get your first job. It's to make it really easy for you to get jobs throughout your life, right? You want to be able to get a job again and again and again. So it's not a one-time activity. So what are the things we can do proactively or like early on in our career to make sure that we can get our next 10, 15 jobs also because of the way that we operate now? So that's, I think, maybe a really kind of important course for everyone, especially like things change so fast. Resumes used to work at a point, but now I think most people realize resumes just don't work. Like that's not a strategy that is competitive anymore. And so I think we have to evolve based on the marketplace, based like if you go into certain industries, hiring practices are very different. So how do we kind of learn that? So that's kind of the courses that we focus on most. The way we do it is there's a single interface. So all the courses, if you guys are programmers, hopefully you understand what interface means. But all the courses have a similar structure. Um, and you can take the courses in pretty much any order you want. But we focus on a few courses in the beginning, and I'll talk to you about kind of what that structure looks like. Some people have done it and liked it and whatever. But I think this is what I really think is more meaningful. It's people kind of doing work, sharing publicly the work that they've done, and this kind of helps them, build like get jobs and just talk about kind of what they're doing. And yeah, if it's not enough to do great work, you need to actually talk about your work and put it out there. And so this is the final step for me. Like they learned something, they applied it, they did it, and then they talked about it. So I think this to me is something that I like a lot more, and you can find the stuff on LinkedIn and go and see what they're talking about. But yeah, so that's kind of what the overall high level idea is. So we want to make you guys essentially independent in being able to like direct your own careers and take it where you want, and not be reliant on other people to like guide your careers. And the reason that I want you to be able to do this is because I hate managing people, right? Managing people is one of the things that takes all of your time and all of your energy. And so it's once you learn how to like deliver value on your own, then it's great, right? Then we can have a bunch of us working. We're all independent. We can all create value. And whatever job you go to, if you can figure out how to create independent value, like you'll be good, right? So then you're never again reliant on some job to give you everything that you need. If you have a job that you like, great. If you don't like it, you can move on. And if you don't want a job, you can like create value on your own. So it just makes you independent in a sense that I think is really important. And I'll talk a little bit more about kind of why I want to do this course and why I started this. But I was thinking I'll maybe do that at the end. I'll take a pause. Any questions at this point? Hi, Pranshu. I think you joined a little late. I don't know if you have any enough context to understand what's going on, but yeah. Prerna, you have a question?
No.
No? All right. Arun, good. Give me some response as a reaction or something. You there?
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. This is a course or an internship?
Internship. So this is the first few months that we do. Yeah,
So, what was the location? Is remote or any specific location?
it's remote. If you're in Delhi, then we can maybe do some kind of co-working sessions, but mostly remote.
Okay. Is, is there any fees or anything else?
There's no fee. I'll talk. I was going to talk about that in a minute. But basically, for the first month, it's unpaid, and then on the second and third month, if you guys are doing well, then there's a stipend. You can also continue the internship kind of without the stipend, depending on where you are, or we can call it after a month as well.
Okay. What the duration of internship and what we get after the internship?
Great questions. 3 months is the duration. It can be extended longer or it can become like full-time employment. What do you get? If you finish the thing, I'll give you like a certificate. The individual courses also have their own certificates. So if you do like
Mhm.
4 weeks of weekly planning and you do a retrospective, which you understand what that is, but then we'll give you like for the individual courses, their certificates as well, but then we'll give you like a completion certificate, and hopefully you'll have a lot of work that like part of the exit criteria for the internship is that you do and publicly share work, right? You have to like make stuff, do stuff, and then talk about that stuff.
Okay.
So
If I'm eligible for a stipend, so what was the expected stipend?
5 or 10,
Okay.
depending on kind of
Okay.
how much you contribute.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Nice. I like that you cut straight to the
you.
uh
Okay.
Pranshu, any questions? You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Makes
Am I
sense.
audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, my question was, is there any particular tech stack that we would be working on, or is
Okay, so the tech stack that we have for the product that we're currently focused on is Django and which is Python in the server, and then we have a JavaScript front end. So that's the stack. That said, if you have like a particular stack you want to work on, like that's fine. But just yeah, I know people sometimes I don't know. Do you have a particular stack that you want to work on, or can you tell me a little bit more about the question?
no, I was just curious what kind of technology
So
that we would be learning.
that's the stack we have for our main product. That said, if you want to like there's people working on their own products, there's new products we want to build. It's kind of like eventually we're hoping to like turn it into a venture studio. So yeah, so there's different things out there, but the main product that we have, which is the reading product, that's in Django and JavaScript, or Python and JavaScript. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah. So I think no, this is not. Just give me one sec. Yeah. So it's a 3 month internship. Oops. 3 month internship, remote. If you're in Delhi, then we can kind of meet sometimes and co-work. First month is unpaid. Second and third month, depending on kind of how you do, we can do a stipend or an unpaid extension. So that's kind of the overall. I think some of the goals that you were asking. So a little more kind of structure for how it actually works. There's like 3 streams of work. So one is you'll be doing some systems courses. So that's like, you know, execution. How do you like maintain your calendar, that kind of thing. Then you'll do specific kind of reading and courses in your actual like thing. So if you're doing engineering, then we'll have you read some books and kind of figure out where your kind of thing gaps are, what some really foundational engineering books are to read, and just get you started on like reading technical books. Because if you can keep reading technical books over some period of time, it's like a really really great thing to do. Even if you can read like 10, 15 books, not even in their entirety, the knowledge you'll have will be like in the top 1% of programmers. So that's something you just want to do kind of throughout your career, and we'll just kind of start you off. And the product that you'll be working on and that we'll use, which is probably something you guys are interested in, is this. So it's essentially a reading application, but we get analytics on how people are reading. And then we have the ability to kind of change the way that we present books. So right now, there's a person who started like only a couple of weeks ago, and he's working on a feature to essentially, I told him to read this book, and he's like, it's kind of overwhelming for me because the book is really long, and how can I read the whole thing? I've not really read books. So now he's working on a feature just to summarize it and create like a way that you can get a high level uh, kind of summary of the book before you start reading it, and then maybe read the chapters that are more specific to the problems that you're facing, for example. Right. So this is the software that you'll be using, and also the software you'll be working on. uh, yeah. Okay. So that's the second stream. Yeah. So there's in this you'll be reading, and then you'll actually be working and implementing some of those things that you read. So that's how you like build this knowledge. So this is like the engineering part. And then there's one more inspiration. This is like a little less important, but these are the two things that you'll be doing. In the first month, like in the beginning, we just want to build some basic systems. Like the execution system is the first one we do. So these are the three kind of streams of work. Yeah. Then these are some of the courses we'll do. So execution is the first one, deep work is the second one. I think this one we'll probably not do for now. I realize this doesn't make sense right now. Yeah, these are some general prerequisites. So how do you build good systems? What are characteristics of good systems? And yeah, how do we make sure that systems become like really kind of, you know, um, stable and resilient. Then we'll cover problem solving, and then we'll do some goal setting. So you can see the entire kind of course catalog here. Um, so yeah, this is about me. What are good systems? How do you tell if a system is a good system? This notebooks is a really key thing. This is a way that we learn to kind of capture. It's a central repository for all our systems. Yeah, getting out of test hacking. I think a lot of us like subconsciously, whenever presented with a problem, we try to figure out what's the test here and how do we hack it. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but basically we get into the mentality of what's the shortcut here, what's the game, and how can I win this game. And when you're trying to do like long-term deep work, then that mentality may not be the one that serves us best. How do you read nonfiction and other stuff? Yeah. And then this is the main kind of module one, which is personal, um, kind of uh, personal effect productivity. So agency, execution, how to set goals, problem solving, deep work, personal organization. And then these are some addendums. So this is basically helps us do more deep work. Learning skills, some other thing in learning skills. And then how do you keep a track of the skills you want to learn? How do you keep track of like, all like, let's say you want to learn like about design maybe, or you want to learn like networking or like operating systems, something in engineering. How do you keep a track of that? How do you like devote time to that on an ongoing basis? This is all communication stuff. And then this is like, yeah, getting paid, sharing what you learn, and how to find jobs and how to find good work. So that's this module here. So these are all the systems courses. Then we have functional courses as well. I think they're off somewhere else. But yeah, so this is kind of some of the streams we have for engineering. Um, yeah, that's kind of that. Uh, yeah, this is the engineering track. And these are some of the kind of resources we have for it. But the idea is eventually we want you to figure out your own resources. Like, that you want to learn cybersecurity, like use the how to like learn skills module, apply it to this, and then basically find the people that you like. Because it's not only about learning cybersecurity, you also want to improve how you learn skills, if that makes sense. So everything is very like, trying to like maximize long-term kind of output. Learning skills, some tools you'll need, Trello, GitHub, Figma. Engineers, your first task will be just get a local version running, This is the very standard onboarding. Django backend, JS front end, Kitabnama. We normally want you to like, yeah. I mean, one person who started like 2 weeks ago is already working on a feature. Some people are still trying to figure out execution. So it's kind of very self-paced. If you're moving fast and you're ready to like work on features, then we'll do that. Uh, yeah. We have 2 meetings a day. There's one meeting at 11, which is kind of a more instruction or co-working meeting. And then we have one at 3:30, which is office hours. So if you have questions or you want to talk about something, you can drop in, but that's not mandatory. So that's how we do that. There's an idea for a product also to help us kind of work together, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, success criteria, keep your work notebook up to date, share progress, and then 2 public descriptions of work you've done and have people like see them. And then we have like enough of us that we can like, make sure that your content gets seen and, all that stuff. But basically, until you tell the world about the work you're doing, it's not really, it doesn't matter how well you do work, you need to talk about it. So that's kind of that. And then this is how to get set up, add your calendar, camera, you know, you have a work folder. I should like, if you want to see a work folder, what can I show you? So yeah, he made like a video of like this project that he done, and then
Just remove this thing, no?
so then yeah, then he's built a portfolio site also. I don't have a link to that, but yeah. So you have your goals, which you'll get after doing like a little exercise in the beginning, assigned reading, which courses you're doing, and then these are his tasks. So he's done like a bunch of them. Yeah, he's created a portfolio. He's bought a domain. He shared like on LinkedIn. Uh, yeah. So he's right now reading Pragmatic Programmer. That's the book I talked to you about. Then this is like he's working on a feature. So this is like a really nice video about like the fundamentals of how you build features and what their purpose is. I think something that a lot of engineers don't realize till a really long time is that your job is not to build features. Okay, feature banas, like you can make a feature, but if nobody uses it, it's completely useless. And then this is another way that we use to like um, think about how to like keep a backlog and figure that out. So yeah, this is really good. Also, like I learned so late in life about this. I don't know, first 2 3 years, I just made lots of features that you know never went anywhere and never got pushed to production because they were not important, and I didn't realize that. And I didn't know enough to ask the right question. But the way that you get credit and the way that you get promoted and become a better engineer is to like build features that people use, and so these are questions that are really important for you to ask. That's about it. I can talk a little bit about why I started this or where that comes from, but do you guys have any other questions right now? I think this is yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just wanted to ask that if I'm not from a technical background, do you think I would be able to grasp all this?
Sorry, who is this? Prerna?
Prerna.
Prerna, I mean, you and I have different contexts, so yeah, don't worry about
Okay.
that. You're good. Yeah. I
Okay.
think I think mostly everybody else is kind of on the software engineering stream. That's why I, stuck to those examples, but you and like you're fine.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Guys, give me something.
Hey, hello. Am I audible?
Yep.
So, like, I wanted to ask, like, you will be guiding us in this, or there will be all more people,
So there's
or
a
other one?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it will be you will be guiding us, or there will be other mentor for this.
So there's a engineering lead who will be kind of more hands-on when you're like working on the product. Um, Aside from that, you'll mostly be finding mentors on your own. There's enough people out there. If you want to learn about about anything under the sun, there's like great people out there. And so yeah, they'll be there, but you kind of have to find them on your own. But in terms of like the team, there's me, there's a technical lead, and then there are 2 or 3 people who've been around for like more than a year. So they're mostly on the product and design side. Uh, but yeah, so there's about 5 of us over there.
Okay, okay. Like as you told, you will be conducting two meets like at 11 and at 3:30.
Yeah.
And if like at some time I'm not able to join at that time. So like if I have some query, then I can ask on another time also.
I would prefer if you can keep it to those two times. If you're not able to join at all, then it's very simple. Then, I mean, there's a way to do that. We'll do async. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Okay, okay, thanks.
You're not able to join at those times at all?
No, no, I will be able to join, but sometimes it's like I can't ask at that time or I am somewhere. So if it is possible, not every time, only a few, it might be for a few days only.
That's fine. That's fine. The course is largely so self-directed that, yeah, it's not a huge problem. Like, लोगों के exams होते हैं, people have like different things. If you're not able to join, like on, so any kind of instruction or any new topic that we do, I'll record the videos and post them. So if you miss that, that's fine. And yeah, so that's okay. That's not a problem.
Okay, thanks.
As long as you do the work, you almost don't need to like me to instruct you. Like everything is kind of, the course structure and the courses themselves are like really thoughtfully written out. And it's just on you to like, do the work. So I really don't, I actually don't care if you come for meetings or not. As long as you do the work, it's fine. If you have questions, that's great. If not, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, Piyush aaj nahi aaya meeting mein, kal aana Piyush nahi, to whatever. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you just have to do the work, and all the structure for you to be able to do the work is there. Yeah. Anyone else? Sunil, questions? No. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to say. The reason that I do this is because in my 20s I struggled a lot in my career. I did finance, I did something else, then I became an engineer, then I did 2 3 years of engineering, then उसमें भी मैंने बहुत struggle किया. Then I became a product manager, then I struggled there. Then finally I became a founder, and even there I struggled. But after being a founder for some time, in the beginning you're just like don't know what to do. You're just sitting at home, and थोड़ा like 1 घंटे काम किया, फिर कुछ फीचर खराब हो गया, कुछ client ने मना कर दिया. Then you feel bad, then you stop working. And basically I was really struggling. I didn't have a manager, I didn't have anyone telling me what to do. And it took about 6 to 8 months for me to figure it out. But there was one, it was 2021, मैं San Francisco में था, और मैं consulting और side gigs से I was making enough money to pay rent. And I was meeting lots of people, and I was working on things that I really cared about, and I was learning a lot. And I didn't have a manager. And that's when I realized that all these things that I had relied on a job to give me for, and I thought that was the only way to do it. I was like, you need to have a job, the job will give you whatever. And if your job sucks or your manager's an ass, then that's life and you just have to live with it. But when I realized you don't have to, and you can do it, actually you can do everything on your own. Right? I was unemployed for a long time, and मैं बीच में बैठ के सोच रहा था मैं अपनी कंपनी चला लेता हूँ ना, मैं रेज्यूमे में क्यों लिखूं कि मैं अनएम्प्लॉयड था. कौन मुझे रोक रहा है कोई कंपनी या प्रोडक्ट बनाने से, मैं कर लेता हूँ. एंड देन आई वाज लाइक, मैं अकेला थोड़ी ना हूँ ऐसे, हम मतलब हजारों लोग बैठे हुए हैं ऐसे घर पे कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं. और उनको एक तो ये नहीं है कि, one thing is you have to like write on your resume that you're unemployed. Okay, that's one problem. The other problem is you have to tell people, you go to a party or something, you have to tell people कि मैं कोई काम नहीं कर रहा. That's even worse. Okay, and then the worst thing I think is that you're just sitting at home and waiting कि भाई please कोई मुझे नौकरी दे दो. You're just like waiting for emails, you're waiting for interviews. And like this interview, I don't know if this happened to you, but एक interview सही जाएगा and you're like ये तो मिल गई भाई, ये नौकरी मुझे मिल गई, और फिर इतना अच्छा लगता है. फिर जब वो नहीं मिलती इतना बुरा लगता है यार. एंड यू लाइक क्या है यार, लाइक मैं कितनी देर ऐसे बैठा रहूं. तो yeah, that's what I don't want kind of people to go through. And actually the only reason that we go through that is because no one has told us at the beginning कि तुम कर सकते हो खुद. And also I think this false thing is there कि work is a lot like school, कि there are some rules, you follow the rules, तुम अपना काम कर लो, सबमिट कर लो, अच्छा रेज्यूमे बना लो, अच्छा पोर्टफोलियो बना लो, एंड सक्सेस इज गारंटीड। है ना, स्कूल में तो ऐसा ही होता है, तुम काम थोड़ा बहुत कर लो तो पास तो हो ही जाओगे। बट प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में वैसा नहीं होता, राइट? यू आर अ, I don't know if you guys have ever like gambled or played poker, but it's literally like you're a poker player. Okay? It's a bet. You're gambling on everything. You're gambling on whether your company will succeed. You're gambling on whether your boss is any good. You're gambling on whether the industry doesn't get eaten up by AI, like 5 years after you invested in it. So imagine being like somebody who worked at a typewriter company. Like, no matter how hard you work, if you don't realize your industry is going to get eaten up, like, you're going to suffer, right? And people just, no one told me this, right? I just didn't have the mental model of work that I had in my head when I graduated, and in my first 10 years of working was just wrong. And it took me so much work to figure it out. And I'm just like, why don't they teach this to people when they're young? And I really wanted to learn when I was willing to pay someone कि मुझे काम करना सिखा दो, क्योंकि मेरा कुछ कुछ साल मुझे नौकरी नहीं मिली। और फिर मैं इतना तरस गया था काम करने के लिए कि यार कोई मुझे सिखा दो यार, लाइक, एंड दे वर लाइक, बस तुम्हें नौकरी मिलनी है वहीं सीखोगे। एंड जब नौकरी मिल भी गई वहां पे भी नहीं सिखाया लोगों ने। So I was just like, this is absurd. Like, there needs to be some way that people can learn how to work in a fundamental way. Um, and when I figured it out, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I love doing it. I love doing this. So that's kind of why I started this. Yeah. So I think that's everything I had to say. In terms of next steps, if you guys are interested in like signing up, then just send me an email. If you want to like see how it goes, then what you can do is try just joining office hours. If you're interested, just join office hours and you'll just see the kind of work we do and how we work, and what the other people are up to. So that might also be a way, and you can just sit, and then if you have any questions you can ask them. But those are the two ways I'm thinking of taking this forward. So yeah, last chance for questions. Any other questions? Anyone? Thoughts?
Like, where is your office in Delhi?
Office is kind of not there yet. Right now, dude, office space is, yeah, painful to get in Delhi. Right now it's remote. If we have enough people in Delhi, we can figure out kind of if there's a place we can work together. I live in like South Delhi, so it'll be somewhere hopefully not too far away from there. But yeah. But right now it's all remote, and people have been working with me for more than a year remote. So I figured out remote. It can work. Also, it's much.
Yeah, there is,
Uh,
like I was asking, there is no problem in remote, but sometimes to get together and do work and
yeah,
in face to
absolutely.
face.
हाँ, तो वो मैं अभी तक क्या करता हूँ, वो तो हम किसी कैफे में चले जाते हैं, और एक दो तीन कैफेज हैं जहाँ पे there's enough space and I know the people there and it's all chill. So sometimes we go to GK2, sometimes we go to Khan. Yeah, depends on kind of where people are. But yeah, totally in for that. We do that. Mm,
I had a question.
mhm,
So you said that the project you have been working on is on technology Python and Django.
mhm,
So there would be courses to learn those technologies as well.
mhm. Yeah, I won't teach you those,
Okay.
right? I'm not
Yes.
the most qualified person in the world to teach Python, but there's a lot of people who are, right? And what we actually want to do is find somebody whose style works for you. We'll have like resources already available, but as a part of like how to learn skills, we'll talk about that. So yeah, courses are there.
Hey, hello.
Uh-huh.
Hello, sir. Actually, I have a major in cloud, so can I fit somewhere in your company?
Cloud. Major in cloud
Yeah.
with what?
Like I have a specialization in cloud, AWS, like that.
Like what? Like managing kind of cloud
Yeah, managing, monitoring.
DevOps.
No, not DevOps. It's about to manage your website online, monitoring that, and security that I'm using AWS.
You, so your main tool is AWS?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
No,
that's fine.
I would like to the what you have a website, na sir?
Yeah, we have multiple websites.
So
We
where you are hosting that
all deployed
websites?
on AWS.
Or AWS, na?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm anywhere fit in that, like I'm asking.
come for a month. Let's try the
Yeah.
basic stuff and we'll figure it out. See if you're interested.
Okay.
Firstly, like AWS is not like a tech stack, right? If
Hmm.
you like, there's a skill underneath that. AWS is a particular way of like doing that. So that's, I would consider AWS mostly as like deployment, like if you're using the data pipeline, like data pipeline management, like what's the actual problem that you're solving under that you're using AWS for, that's what you can become good at. But tomorrow
Hmm.
you want the ability to go to a company that uses GCP and not be like, oh, मैं यहाँ पे काम ही नहीं कर सकता because मुझे GCP के बारे में नहीं पता. That you want to understand
Hmm.
at a fundamental level enough. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Okay.
We'll find stuff for you to do.
So, okay, now what's the next step?
So next step, if you're like interested in kind of starting, then just send me an email saying, hey, I'm interested. Like, how do we start?
Okay, got it.
Uh, if you're still on the fence, like let me know and just send me an email saying I'm curious, but I'm not sure. We can have you join the office hours. Otherwise, yeah, if you're ready, then we can just start.
Okay, sir, I have another doubt. Sir, actually, right now I am doing an internship at a company, so which the timing was like 9 to 5.
Okay.
So, so I got confused. How can I work with you? How can I save your courses like that?
Uh, how's that internship going?
Internship is going fine. I'm joined last 2 days only.
Okay. See, I would say if that internship is going well, if you're liking it, like do that. Do it
Okay.
like fully. If you
Hmm.
find that it's not engaging you, or if you find that internship isn't good or whatever, then we can figure something out. But
Hmm.
yeah, I would say like just focus on one thing. And if that internship
Can
is,
I, is there any chance that I am done both the things simultaneously?
yeah, see if your attention is not fully here, then you won't be able to
Yeah,
make use
yeah.
of the opportunity here. If your attention is not there,
Oh, got it.
you won't be able to make use
Okay.
of that. So find one. If you started that
Yeah.
already, I mean, take a call. Which one you think makes more
Hmm.
sense to you and do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, don't try to do
Yeah.
both. And this
Yeah.
internship is not going anywhere. So do that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice advice.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for joining.
So hello.
Yeah.
So what is the starting rate, like onboarding date?
Onboarding time मैंने तो सोचा था कल के लिए, but I think now maybe let's delay it by a week. Uh, but if
Oh,
you really want to get started, like it's all
mm,
pretty like the first set of things for you to do is pretty well defined. If you want to get started,
mm.
you can actually get started anytime. There's actually like it's just nice to have people who all start at the same time because then there's like a structure that you can all follow together. Yeah, yeah. So maybe
So before that, we need to send mail, right?
yeah,
After that, only confirm. The company will confirm. I mean, you
yeah,
will confirm that starting date.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. If we get like 5, 6 people together, I just want you. It's not about I can start anytime. I want you to have like a few people who start at the same time as you, so you can kind of you have someone else to like who's going through the same stages as you are. I think that would be nice. Yeah, yeah,
So what do we have to share you like in mail, like
yeah. Just
for
read.
onboarding? What we have to do
Sorry, say that again.
for onboarding in this? What
For
we have to
onboarding,
share you like?
here I'll send you these two links. This is what you have to do. I'll also have to create some. Uh, I have to create like a folder for you. Basically, that's pretty much all I'll have to do to start. But I would say there's a bunch of stuff in systems courses. Yeah. So I would say give this a quick read. Um, and I think in this document also there's just like why do we build career systems? How do we become like why should we become independent? What's our work culture like? And like some background about me if you're curious. So you can this is the pre-joining reading list. So that's the first document I think I sent. And then if you want, then you can start reading some of these courses and see if they make sense to you. Yeah. Yeah. So you can get started. The courses are kind of free, like they're open. Like you can through this link, you can get all of the courses. they're not all completely done. The important ones are mostly done. So some of them need work. But yeah, so you can go here and see all of them. The links are all open. Let's go see now. Does that answer your question?
No, like as जैसे कि इसमें इनरोल जैसे करते हैं, जैसे कि एज अ कि डेट्स वगैरह आते हैं कि ऑफर लेटर टाइप जैसा होता है।
हाँ, वो उसके
हाँ
लिए एक डेट important है. वो हम Are you guys all like keen on starting tomorrow? Is that, or do you want to like next week or
it
what?
works for me.
Huh? Works for you? Mm,
Yeah, I'm also okay with that.
okay. Sarthak, Prerna?
I can too. I'm free.
I'm sorry?
I mean, I can also join tomorrow.
Sarthak?
Yes, yes, it's fine for me also.
Okay, fine, cool. So let's start tomorrow. Okay. Then just send me an email anyway. It'll make it easier for me to just know who's kind of starting. And yeah, then I'll set you up and then we can keep the official starting date from tomorrow. Yeah. And you need an offer letter, no? This is
Yeah, we need.
I know you guys. So I'll make a copy of this and give it to you. Just change, like some people need their roll numbers and things. पता नहीं लोगों को अलग अलग फॉर्मेट चाहिए होते हैं. तो इसका एक कॉपी बना के इसमें नाम अपना डाल देना और ये डेट चेंज कर देंगे. बाकी तो यही है. तो ये मैं साइन करके भेज दूंगा. So I'll tell you how to do this once you've gotten your work folders and all that. So just send me an email saying, yeah, we're in and we want to start tomorrow. And then I can set this up for you. You'll get this. I'm not gonna, yeah, मेरा कोई interest नहीं है कि मैं तुम्हें certificate ना दूँ. जो तुम्हारे course के certificates हैं, that you'll have to earn. But ये general कि तुम internship कर रहे हो and as long as you do some work, like I'll give you that one. I know that you guys sometimes need to graduate and things, so I'm not gonna not give you those. But the ones for the courses, I'll make you earn. Those I won't give out for free. But in this stuff, I'm not gonna. I know I've heard horror stories यार. पता नहीं लोग आते हैं काम करते हैं वो कंपनी वाले सर्टिफिकेट ही नहीं देते हैं फिर लोगों को ग्रेजुएट करने में दिक्कत होती है तो ये सब नहीं होगा यहाँ पे उसके बारे में चिंता मत करो.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Tejeshwa, I don't know if you caught most of that. I recorded this, so I'll just like take this and post it, and then I'll just yeah, if you want to see that, then you can see that. All right. So thanks, guys. I will look forward to some of your emails. Excited about working, like that'll be fun. Yeah, dude, I love it. I love doing this. Yeah, cool. Then hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Word
Thank you
rest.
so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.